Jake Paul for the last 12 rounds with Ryan Garcia?
I do not believe he can. I think that I would punish him, and I'm giving him a lot of grace. I think 7th, 8th to 9th round. But hey, this man don't even need to box no more. You challenged Anthony Joshua, but there's nothing more to see, and you made a lot of money, so you probably never will see it.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that clip because, it's a teaser, but the reality is that Jake Paul, Ryan Garcia there were discussions actually between the two parties about a possible fight a while back. Now, Ryan Garcia did, however, predict that if a fight between him and Jake Paul were to ever happen, if it were to ever come to fruition, that Jake Paul would probably lose in under 9 rounds. Now, here's the real question that I don't think a lot of people are asking, and the question really comes down to is this fight potentially between the problem child and Garcia, is it even like realistic anymore? I mean, or is this just kind of like clickbait or headline bait, as they would call it, in this unbelievably ever-changing world that we live in when it comes to the world of boxing? Because as you know, boxing is starting to evolve a lot quicker than other combat sports, and what's really interesting is because of all the different power brokers and players that are emerging onto the scene in boxing. You have fighters now becoming promoters. You've got the old guard, people being in business for quite some time, may actually even be phased out. So it is a new world. You even have fighters in this day and age who are willing to relinquish their belts or get stripped of their belts because they don't want to fight their mandatories or the number one contenders, or they don't want to pay the sanctioning fees to these sanctioning bodies. And so, the world of boxing is evolving at a very, very fast rate. It's changing. And again, you've got the emergence of Dana White, Zuffa Boxing, and they're really shaking shit up, guys, to the point where everybody is like, whoa, what's going on here? Let's slow down. But yeah, things are starting to change and things are starting to become a lot different. Now, going back to what I was talking about with Ryan Garcia and Jake Paul, Ryan essentially said that, like, he acknowledged what Jake recently went through with this fight against Anthony Joshua in Miami in December, but he did allude to the fact that, a fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul and Ryan Garcia are two different realities. And he's right. He's right. Because, there is a lot of context that people are forgetting. And look, different weight classes and, there's a lot of different factors that do make this somewhat different. So let's break this down, guys. But before I get into that, I just want to thank everybody. We've achieved some pretty big milestones here on this channel. And all of that, honestly, is because of you guys. We're nearing the 5,000 subscriber mark. And, our views are starting to pick up, and all of this is thanks to you and for being loyal, for tapping in. And I truly appreciate that. And that kind of excitement is kind of what motivates me to wanting to continue to put out these videos because it's a lot of fun. I enjoy talking about combat sports. I love doing what I do. And every time you guys like and subscribe and you comment on these videos, I love it. I love just kind of getting into the discussions, and there's a lot of things that I'm learning from you guys as well, things that you're teaching me, and so it's it's a lot of fun. So thanks again, guys, and thanks for being loyal members and for being part of this community. It's grassroots, but we want to grow and we want to continue to evolve. And doing it with you guys actually makes it the more worthwhile. So thank you again. And if you guys like our content, please smash a like and subscribe. No fillers, no biasness, guys. Just real fight talk. Then you guys are at the right place. And smash a like and subscribe and hit the notification so you guys never miss a beat. And I look forward to pumping out more videos for you guys. So let's talk about Ryan Garcia and not just Ryan Garcia, but I also want to talk about another possible fight that could happen between Jake Paul and it's a blockbuster one, guys. So I'll I'll kind of get into that here shortly, but you guys don't want to miss who everyone is, or what a lot of people are saying could actually come to fruition. And guys, if this happens, if Jake Paul were to fight this guy, it could probably be one of the biggest fights of the year, should it happen this year. So, most of you guys know that Ryan Garcia is going to be fighting in February, against a WBC welterweight champion, Mario Barrios, who's absolutely incredible. He's an elite fighter, guys. And this is most likely going to be Ryan Garcia's biggest fight of his career. That's all going down, guys. February 21st, Ryan Garcia versus Mario Barrios. And look, I mean, Ryan Garcia is a very, very talented fighter. He's in his prime. He's only 27 years old, but he's never won. He's never won, guys, a world title, right? So that this is, so that the fact that he gets this opportunity to take on Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight championship of the world, it's a big deal for him, and he's super excited, and he's been training hard. I'm excited for this fight as well too. And guys, that's just right around the corner, man. Right around the corner. We're like 9 days away. I can't wait. But just kind of looking back into Ryan Garcia's career, his loss against Rolly Romero. I mean, this isn't just another fight, right? I mean, there's a lot of legacy pressure kind of built into this. Ryan Garcia, as you guys are aware, was suspended for a while. He's just recently came back into the folds, into the arms of the boxing community once again, and he's been training hard, and he really wants to make right from wrong, and he wants the opportunity, and whatever opportunities come his way, he's going to try to take full advantage of it. And that's not me saying it, that's coming from him, right? So when the question came up about Jake Paul, Ryan didn't even hesitate. Some fighters are like to try to brush it off. They don't even want to talk about it. And he said that he feels that he would punish Jake Paul, but he would beat Jake Paul in probably just under 9 rounds. Ryan doesn't feel that Jake Paul could last 12 rounds with him. So for him to predict a 7th, 8th, maybe 9th round stoppage, that's not unrealistic, guys. And that tells you a lot about Ryan Garcia, his attitude, his humbleness almost, because look, Ryan Garcia is a trained professional boxer. Right. And I'm not saying Jake Paul isn't a good boxer. He is. He's been training hard. He's been working hard. But Ryan Garcia has had more professional boxing fights than Jake Paul has. And so if Ryan Garcia feels really confident about going into this fight, but like if the fight were to happen between him and Jake Paul, nothing's been announced, guys. Just there's no breaking news here. There's no clickbait here. I'm just saying. But if it were to happen, he feels pretty confident he would come out the victor. But the one thing that Ryan Garcia has done and said that separates him from other fighters is he's not blowing off Jake Paul as if he was just like an amateur zero or a nobody. He's actually giving Jake Paul a lot of credit. And he, that's why he's not saying he'd knock him out in the first round. Like, there's a lot of fighters out there. Like I was thinking about when Derek Chisora chimed in when he heard that Anthony Joshua was going to take on Jake Paul, and Derek Chisora went on the media and went on social media and everything, and he's basically telling Anthony Joshua that if he doesn't beat Jake Paul in the first couple rounds or even few rounds, then that's a complete embarrassment to Anthony Joshua, and no matter what the outcome of the fight is, you might as well give the victory to Jake Paul. And there was a lot of debate on this, and a lot of people chimed in on this, and a lot of people were really upset because they're like, look, the fact that this fight is even happening, yes, there's a lot of money at stake, and obviously that was probably one of the biggest catalysts, reasons for Eddie Hearn and Anthony Joshua to wanting to take on this fight because of the purse, how big it was. But at the same time, they wouldn't just do it to fight some guy who had zero knowledge or experience in the sport. Jake Paul has fought a lot of people. And be it controversial or what, he's fought legitimate fighters. Now, some will argue, well, a lot of these guys were older or past their prime. And you know what? In some cases, that may be the case. But guess what? He still came out to fight. And so he knows how to fight. And the question really comes down to is, how well of a fighter is he when he's paired up against legit professional boxers, right? So when Derek Chisora made that comment about Anthony Joshua, I was like, I felt that to be a little unfair. And this is not undermining Derek Chisora or taking anything away from him. He's a very extremely talented fighter. He's actually he's going to be taking on Deontay Wilder in London coming up, and that's going to be his 50th fight, guys. So that's an incredible milestone that Derek has achieved. But, when people start saying, I'm going to knock that guy out in the first round, second round, come on, man. A fight's a fight, guys. Anything can happen in the sport of boxing. And sometimes these fights could finish pretty quickly. And sometimes it could be a very long, long night for these guys. So when Ryan Garcia comes out and says, you know what, it'll probably take about maybe 7, 8, maybe 9 rounds, you got to give that guy a lot of credit. And he even went on to say that Jake doesn't even need to fight anymore. You heard the clip earlier. That line alone tells you everything. Jake's made a ton of money. A lot of money, more money than a lot of fighters have ever done. And he did that in a few fights. Honestly, a lot of his net worth was really built up on his last few fights. And there's a lot of fighters out there who've trained and fought for like 20 years plus whatever, and they not even anywhere close to the kind of money that Jake Paul has earned, right? So here's where it gets really interesting. When Jake Paul stepped up against AJ, we all know it didn't go well. Right, 6th round knockout, broken jaw, multiple fractures in his jaw, 4 titanium plates, guys. His whole jaw were completely realigned. He got a medical suspension. I mean that wasn't like a YouTuber style kind of crossover fight. Okay, that was a brutal reminder of the different layers and complexity that's involved in the sport of boxing. So when Ryan says he would punish Jake, the question comes down to, is he wrong? Is that even a possibility? Like, do you think he would punish him or no? I don't know. But, honestly, like speed wise, I would give that to Ryan Garcia, his footwork, his timing. But at natural weight, I don't know. Hard to say. Jake Paul's got a lot of power in his hands. He's proven it. He's fought a lot of guys. And he, you know what? Yeah, he lost to Anthony Joshua in the 6th round, but guess what? He lasted more. People forget to talk about the obvious. People are only talking about his knockout loss against AJ, but a lot of people fail to talk about how long how long Jake Paul actually lasted against Anthony Joshua. The fight that he had against Mike Tyson, the fight that he had against, you know what? I could go on and on and on and on, guys, right? There's a lot of guys that he fought and he lasted a long time with. I mean, he struggled against Tommy Fury, but it, there were moments where, he did well, right? So anyways, guys, this is not about who wins. It's about whether this fight would even make sense anymore, right? And so look, Jake Paul, one thing about Jake Paul is he's not chasing contenders, guys. He's chasing events, all right? He's building a brand. He's continuing to build that brand. Now he's talking about Canelo. Actually, he was talking about Terrence Crawford, all right? And Canelo Alvarez. And he's like, look, if an opportunity comes up and he could fight either of those guys, that's exactly what he wants. He's been texting Nikisa all the time. I mean, they're at the Olympics together right now. Jake Paul's girlfriend won a gold. There's a lot of things going on in Jake Paul's life right now, but he's in a very, very happy place. But he does want to secure a fight, but he doesn't want to just fight anybody. He wants the best of the best. And now that Canelo Alvarez is back, and Canelo's actually calling out Terrence Crawford because he'd love the opportunity to fight him again, Jake Paul's right there, and he's like, you know what? What about me? Right? So it could potentially happen, guys, because if you guys remember with His Excellency Turki Al Sheikh Riyadh season, these guys were almost about to fight, Jake Paul and Canelo Alvarez. But things kind of went to a different turn, different path. Canelo ended up fighting Terence Crawford. You guys know the story there. Then Crawford retires. Canelo gets injured, goes for elbow surgery, comes back. No Terence Crawford. And Canelo's like, I have an unfinished chapter in my book because I really want to fight Terence Crawford. But now there could be this potential global crossover opportunity that might have just landed on Canelo Alvarez's plate. And Nikisa Bedarian, who's happens to be Jake Paul's manager, it has basically indicated that Jake Paul continues to ask him about Canelo, right? And Jake isn't trying to even hide like grind rankings or anything like that. He's not trying to break the internet with this. I mean, whether he is, whether he isn't, I mean, he's serious. He wants to fight the guy. And meanwhile, Ryan is he's out there trying to chase legacy. He's trying to do what he's trying to do. He's trying to earn his first title, and he should go for it. He should earn it. He should go and win. And if he beats Mario Barrios, he'll become the champion. And who knows, maybe after that he might actually consider maybe looking into potentially fighting Jake Paul. Who knows, right? Two completely different pathways, guys. But look, Ryan versus Jake would have been speed versus power. You have traditional boxing star kind of versus a crossover disruptor. Bedazzin Golden Boy versus MVP Promotions Empire. I mean, wow, that would be huge, guys. But timing, guys, honestly, timing is everything. And Jake just took some serious damage. Ryan needs some credibility back. Both of these guys, again, are in different trajectories, different paths right now. But those paths eventually could come full circle to the point where both of these fighters are staring at each other in front of their faces, and the only way forward is to go through one another. That could be a reality, and it could happen sooner than we think. Now, you know, it right now, like a fight between Jake and Ryan could be, you know, like high risk, low upside, but it would be huge. I mean, I still think there's another, like, I mean, as long as Jake continues to market and promote the way he does, I think there's definitely some upside actually in whatever it is that he does, because people do want to see him fight again. All right. And I mean, there'll be a lot of money at stake. It'd be questionable respect 100%, but that's a crossroads. And I think now that Jake has tasted defeat, he lost Tommy Fury, but now with this loss against Anthony Joshua, that was global, guys. Not that the fight against Tommy Fury wasn't, but there was more hype leading into this fight against AJ because of the whole, potential fight that could have happened between Jake and Gervonta Tank Davis. And then that fight fell through. And then 2 weeks later, here comes Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn ready to sign a deal. And then the rest is history. So I think Jake has got a lot to prove. He wants to prove to the world that he's still relevant and that he can box. So it's going to be really interesting to see. And so, yeah, I mean, if this fight happens between Ryan and Jake, it's not going to be about belts. I mean, at this point, I don't even know if Jake is really interested in wanting to win a belt. I mean, he still may pursue it, but, you know, if he's looking at maybe just settling down after like maybe another few fights and then call it a career, that's a possibility. So it's all going to be about market timing, honestly, and it really comes down to big paydays, right? Because I'm pretty sure Jake is probably going to want to take in about another $3 to $4, maybe $500 million within a span of a few fights. So he wants to fight folks that are probably going to bring in that kind of a payday, right? And right now, I think realistically, Jake versus Canelo would make a lot more sense if we're talking about money, hype, and just that fandom and fanfare that would go associated with that fight, similar to what was kind of happening when the fight between Jake and Anthony Joshua was announced. I mean, there was a lot of hype and excitement about Jake taking on Gervonta Davis, but not anywhere close to when Jake and Anthony Joshua got announced. So, and the money, guys, the money's going to be ridiculous. I can tell you right now, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Forget about $100 million. I think Jake's fight, and if it does happen between Canelo and Jake. I think we're talking about maybe a total of $300-400 million at stake between, that could be split between the fighters. And because I mean, Canelo is on a mission. He's trying to rebrand. I'm not saying rebrand himself, but I think legacy is really important to Canelo. I mean, he's won all the titles that he wanted to win, but winning titles again, I think would make him feel good. But I think right now it's just about really proving that he is still the face and the best of the best, and the best in this era, next to Terence Crawford. Right? He's always going to have to share that limelight with Terence Crawford because he lost to Terence Crawford. So now if Canelo takes on this fight against Jake Paul and loses, then that's his legacy is going to get tarnished. But I mean, if we're talking about coming out of there with $200-300 million, I think it's a price that he'd be willing to sacrifice for sure, or take the risk, or risking his legacy for that fight. So yeah, definitely, I don't know. I think this could happen maybe more, not 2026, but maybe 2027. But with the way things are going this year, I think we could have some potential news that might come out of that will get people just hyped enough to get ready for the following year and see exactly what happens. So does Ryan Garcia take on Jake Paul, or is Ryan Garcia on the right path about chasing titles because he's never won a title before? And right now I think he's laser beam focused on Mario Barrios, and that fight, as I mentioned, is going to happen on the 21st of February. So I think right now that should be his goal, and then kind of figure out what happens after that, whether he wins, loses. I mean, there's going to be discussions that are going to come out of that. If he loses, then I think there's a strong likelihood that Jake Paul might be able to fight Ryan Garcia, and it could even possibly happen this year. But has Jake earned enough respect around the world to make this potentially dangerous? Do people still believe in Jake Paul? Do you believe in Jake Paul? Do you think he was just outmatched by Anthony Joshua? But if things were a little different with, say, fighters more around his weight class or somewhere within his weight class, within that vicinity, do you think things would be a little bit different? And that's kind of more what Jake should be. Those are the kind of fighters that maybe Jake should be kind of focusing more his attention on. I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments, guys. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this kind of fight breakdown, potentially between Ryan Garcia, Jake Paul, or Jake Paul, Canelo Alvarez. I can't wait to see kind of what transpires, what happens. But this is the stuff that's coming down the wire, guys. And again, don't be surprised if big announcements are made very, very shortly. So please smash a like and subscribe. Please, I want to hear your thoughts and comments. I read all of them. I'm going to do my best to kind of answer them. And make sure you smash the notifications as well so you guys never miss a beat. I'm Shiraz. Thank you for watching Duality 7X. I will catch you tomorrow on our next video.